What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Frankenstein Brothers. Today, we got 5 tips for you how to buy a brand new car. Hey, check this out. You'll love this. Tip number 4. Most importantly, put your hands on the vehicle.
Why do we want to put our hands on the vehicle? Because you're not buying a fictitious object that you will never actually drive.
You're not buying a piece of paper.
You only drive it when you put your hands on it.
You're not buying
so
an iPad.
please, put your hands on the vehicle.
You have to do the work. You cannot expect anybody to look out for you. Tell them a story about somebody you know or somebody that came to buy a vehicle from you. I'm just help them out a little bit. They don't get it.
Well, sure. One customer called in. I'm talking to him over the phone and he says, "Hey, I saw you guys have a 04 Jeep Liberty. Want to see if I can pick that car up today." I said, "Yeah, sir, it's right here on the lot. When can I schedule for a test drive?" "No, I'm pretty busy. I'm just coming in to pick it up." "Okay, my name is David. Ask for me when you come in. What's your name?" "Blah, blah, blah." "Cool, I'll see you when you get here." He shows up, gets out his checkbook for the purchase price of the vehicle, and starts to write the check. And I'm like, oh, wow, I'm about to home run this cat. Why? Because he didn't negotiate. However, biggest tip, and here's what I'm saying. The customer decided to buy the vehicle without actually touching the car. So then I said, "You know what, Mr. Customer, I think it makes sense. It's going to be a few moments for us to get that vehicle washed up anyway. Why don't we go ahead and drive it since they got to do some paperwork anyhow?" "Okay." And we simply got in the car, drove it down the street. He heard a clunk and a rattle that he didn't like and decided that he didn't want to purchase that car. We lifted up the hood and he saw more stuff that he didn't like, and he knew he shouldn't have bought that car. And he was so turned off by that vehicle, he decided to move on from the dealership. Now, that just happens. But here's the biggest point I want to make. Put your hands on the vehicles that you intend to buy. Car buying is not a process that you can do sight unseen.
No.
You buy cars like you buy fruit.
To the doctors. You know, the doctor doesn't give you an analysis over the phone. He doesn't say, "Hey, you know what? It's like you got AIDS. You're good." You know, he doesn't do that.
That's funny. It doesn't sound like you got it. They do some tests, and then they know if you got it.
So pick up the vehicle, go look at it, put your hands on it. I'm talking about, okay, narrow it down to 6 cars and say, okay, these 6 vehicles, I'm just 10. These 6 vehicles
And that's okay.
all make sense.
Yes.
These 6 make sense. Now I'm going to go over there and I'm going to test drive. Don't test drive one and say I'm good.
Yeah.
Test drive all 6 vehicles. Make sure their options fit. Make sure the condition of the car makes sense to you. Don't get no car sight unseen and find out it's a rust bucket. And you don't figure that out until the radiator falls out of the car because the car's core support is blasted.
Now, here's a point. Would I buy a car sight unseen? Yes. I would buy a car sight unseen if I didn't care what was going on with the car.
Right.
And I'm just going to eat it anyway. So what's a vehicle I would probably eat it anyway? You tell me there's a 2017 Corvette Z06 for $5,000. I'm probably showing up with a check.
I'm buying the car.
I'll sell the hood for $5,000. I don't even care.
Buy it.
I don't even care.
Buy
but
it.
That's because the numbers in the vehicle is worth so much more than I'm gonna probably spend to repair it. It doesn't matter.
Very seldom be in those situations where you find a good deal sight unseen. Always look at the vehicle, put your hands on it, crawl underneath it, check out the tires. If these are repairs that you do not plan on doing when you purchase this vehicle, then you need to put your eyes physically on this vehicle and check it out. And check it out thoroughly. If you don't know, don't go to your friend, your dad, or whoever. Yeah. Go to a mechanic and have the vehicle inspected. And also buy a warranty.
Now, when he's talking about putting your hands on a vehicle, there's a couple things that I always do. So number one, if I walk up to a car at a dealership and it's clean, I will rub certain areas of the car. Not because I'm getting my perv off, but if I did, that's my business. Here's why. I'm feeling the differences in gradations of paint, because if that car was painted and it's not the factory paint, it's probably gonna feel a little bit different. So I'm looking to see, is the texture over here feel different than that? I'm looking for differences in the color because certain colors don't get matched exactly right the first time.
Right.
I'm also looking at the distance between body line gaps, and sometimes I'll throw a pinky in there and just kind of see what happens with that. When you're checking it out, I'll notice the differences in the widths, and now I know that car might have been in an accident.
I usually like a nickel just because it doesn't vary where your pinky may, but it's to each his own.
Cool thing too, they might show you a Carfax. That's great. I've seen dealerships that have pulled pages out of that Carfax. So a Carfax is fantastic information. It does not mean you don't need to physically put your hands on, in, and around the car.
And the one thing about a Carfax that people will not tell you is it only tells you about reported problems with the vehicle.
Can you please say that again?
The one thing that a car dealership or anybody else will not tell you about is the Carfax only tells you what was reported.
So, wow. God, dog, this tip's a lot longer than it should have been, but I think it's worth it. So, it only tells you what was reported. So, I've had vehicles, and because I'm in a position financially where I've chosen to take on some of the repairs and stuff myself instead of using warranties because I'm buying vehicles that are never in warranty. The challenge with that is I will end up going through I'll go right to the body shop and get it repaired. I'll go right to the mechanic and get it repaired instead of dragging it into a dealership where they have a documented service history. Now that's not fraudulent, that's because I can actually afford to go get it repaired as opposed to going through warranties because on my cars, I don't ever actually have them.
We're tough guys, we do our own work.
Well, but no one's gonna warranty a 300,000 mile vehicle.
Right, and this is the thing you have to remember. How you purchase a vehicle has to be conducive to you. It cannot work for me. My way can't work for you because you may not be me. And if you may be better than me, you may be Mr. Wrench at home. This is not necessarily talking to you. But for the people who do not expect to spend any more money than the money they spend on purchasing that vehicle,
100%.
put your hands on the vehicle.
Please, put your hands in the vehicle. Your car will thank you.
Your mom will thank you. Your wife will thank you. Your kids will thank you. Your bank gonna thank you because when you miss payments, they come to get that mug.
So thank you for watching the video on how to make sure you cannot get taken advantage of when buying a brand new car. Number 2, you wanna make certain that you like this video and subscribe to our channel and share this. It's tax time coming up. A lot of people are gonna buy a whole lot of cars and it makes sense for you to know how to do it the smart way. Thank you very much and we'll see you next time.